Welcome to another episode of Femme Queen Crazy Sexy. Oh, I'm sorry.
She's in my dress. She's in my dress, so she's feeling sexy.
Welcome,
Hi, sexy.
Welcome to another episode of Femme Queen Crazy
Sexy.
Cool. Yeah. What's going on, y'all?
What's going on?
Blue, blue, blue.
Okay. Yeah. It was giving casual, bitch, after coming from that Mugler board, bitch.
We barely made it.
Now.
We barely made it. Me and this one barely made it.
I'm telling you, Charmaine had to call me early in the morning. I was like, huh? She said, look at the time. Look at the time. We got a video. Yo, where's the car? I was like, wait. What time is it? I just fell asleep.
Yo, no shade. I really wanted that guest to come on, but the cancellation came on right time because I knew we was gonna be tired boots coming from, especially y'all had to do second half. After first half, I was up out of there.
Yeah. And we're talking about the Mugler ball.
Yeah, the Mugler ball just happened. We might as well just jump right into that since we just came off of that.
Yeah.
The venue was fab. It was the Brooklyn Paramount. It was really, really nice. I had a mishap, but y'all did fix it, Mugler's. Mark came and got me. My name wasn't on that damn list. So anybody who see me out there carrying, I was just playing.
They say that was a little shade for leaving their house.
Okay. Shout out to my old house. They represented. It was a lot of old Muglers in there. It was like a reunion. I love that. I had fun on the piano with Man. Shout out to Van and Corey, Jalen, Sasha. Yeah, that panel was so much fun, and it was a lot of competition last night. I really enjoyed my show. And shout out to all the people who showed me so much love last night. There were so many people who really enjoyed the show. And
yes, it was.
Showed me a lot of love, so thank you.
That's how I feel, mind you. She calls me frisky, and I'm going to tell you why. Because a lot of guys that we meet off this show, and they see us, look good. Look good. Shout out to the Margiela.
What that mean? Oh my God, here we go. I have no idea what you're talking about.
No, I'm just saying, they look amazing.
Oh,
and congratulations, Tabytha! The legendary realness.
And shout out to my beautiful daughter.
I might as well give you flowers while you can still smell them.
Thank you.
So.
Ooh, here she go.
No.
So y'all see,
I'm not starting, bitch. I'm being nice. Yes, see? She be ready. Now, who's the big girl? Bitch, always want to call me the big girl.
Soon to be icon, because she's definitely coming soon.
Already, she just got legends.
Look,
but you know what I mean.
She's like, girl, what?
She been up for 30 years.
In the comments talking about bitch.
She waited this.
They waited this long to deem her. Bitch, after all this time. But I will say to that, I never thought it would feel the way it feel when when everyone recognizes you and celebrates you that way. So everybody kept calling me I have people's phone number, but the legends was really calling in. And they were really saying congratulations, and that made me feel seen. Because a lot of times, you could be in this and just be in competitive mode and don't know your impact. Mm-hmm. When I went in there, I felt like everybody was finally. You know what I'm saying? And it does give that. However, I don't know if it was ever about trying to get a status. You know what I'm saying? Because honestly, I've done a lot of legendary shit, but, it just felt right. It felt like the right time. Last year when it was offered, I didn't take it because I felt like I didn't want to do it then. And I felt like I needed to travel a little bit more. Mm-hmm. So everything that I paused for, I actually did. So I did travel. So I felt like now was the time. So yes.
I just respect that. I just want to say I really truly respect that because I feel like we're in a time where people want things that don't deserve it. Mm-hmm. And the fact that you put it, the fact that you want to put that much energy into something that you definitely deserve. I feel like that's one thing I noticed with the iconic, the girls that have been around for a very long time. They want to put the work into ballroom.
And that's what it is. It's about really, really being a part of it and building it. So for the person that said, she's been out all this time and now she's just getting it, better late than never, sweetie.
She took a break too, but I mean, it definitely, a lot of people thought that you were legend or they definitely confirmed that you should be a legend. So that's good because we do have a lot of legends who. Right,
Mind you,
now.
I was hearing it the minute like they, girl, how, and I was like, take that up with the people.
No, it was a lot. They was texting me and they had mad names already. I was like, well, why y'all? Mind you, I made them wait for a second. That's
a third.
Mind you, I didn't answer Rucker text me.
I want to say something. I want to say something. I want to ask a question to particularly like the older girls, like as far as iconic. Why do we give each other especially a hard time to get statuses when the Butch Queens don't get Butch Queens? Like, I mean, they give it to you in 4 years, 3 years, 2 years if you look right, you know, but within the girls, like we have to put it in, we actually have to stay on the system.
I think for me, especially when it's somebody who I'm tied to and connected to, and also with my kids and stuff. I never want it to be something where it's just like, oh, you just give this person the status and no one respects it. I want it to be that they really earned this status and they deserve it. Because, like, I mean, there was a situation last night where a guy walked legendary, you know, realness, and nobody knew who he was. And it was because I think he was more of a local legend, or it could have been that he had all this paint on his face and we couldn't see his face. Like, don't walk a category if we can't see your face. Like, he had like all this stuff.
That means you're not legendary if they don't know what you do on the floor without knowing your face.
That's why you can't have, that's why I don't agree with local legends.
Putting your work in. That's putting your work in.
So I do want to say there was one particular thing that stood out to me the most about this specific demon. It had a lot of the iconic femme queens on it. So shouts to my mother, Letitia, Toy, Angel, Kiana, yourself. If I'm leaving anyone, I think that was it for the females. But it had the girls on it. Because 9 times out of 10, it's the guys, like you said, they're the ones giving it out. So it was good to have mines have the girls listed there, like the iconic woman who actually, you know, lived that category to say, yes, it's her time. So thank you.
I think the girls are waking up too because they starting to deem. I think a lot of times the girls weren't deeming.
No,
like they were just allowing the Butch Queens to do it.
Yeah.
And so I think that, like, because I know Tanae is big on it right now.
Yeah.
She's
seeing the disrespect. I remember she made a post about, I think we talked about it, about us being left in the dark as far as even with categories being deemed, all of those things. It's just like,
they make their
because I don't really remember the girls before me even being deemed.
You said what?
I don't remember the girls before me having like a ceremony to be deemed.
Then they just
like,
walk out.
Only person I really seen was Sanaya, and that's because when she got her icon, I got legends that same night. So I remember they did her. But like outside of that, the girls that are legends and icons and stuff, like the Mishas and Cheyennes and Vanessa, I don't remember there being like a particular ceremony. I just remember it just happening. Like,
was
now
that for everybody?
I don't think it was for I think they just gotta pay the girls a lot of times, like you said. I don't know.
I remember somebody was like, every time, even when I would find out, because one thing I always try to do in ballroom was learn my history and learn how things worked, because being a part of it, like for me, my generation, like we went into it like you were going to college, but you were still having fun. It was fun, but you were putting effort into everything that you were doing. So I wanted to know about what I was putting effort in as far as the categories, as far as how, you know, the deeming works, the statuses, etc. I wanted to know, so I was asking a lot of questions, and I always noticed that when it came to the girls, they always just like, oh, you guys do 10, you have to do your 10 years. Like even the night we got deemed, we literally did, every girl did 10 years.
Yeah, I did 10 too.
But and we all have major nights, like 3 years in a row, I won every single ball I walked. No one got me. And that alone, just was 3 years. There was a Butch Queen did the same thing, and he got deemed.
Yeah.
Off of those 3 years.
But that's how it happened for me, even for drags. Like, I should have been a drags legend. Like, you know, I was years in a row, and then, like, you know, somebody will come up after a few years or whatever, but they still made me wait. And then it merged into my Femme Queen. I had to walk Femme Queen Face and Femme Queen Runners and walk it over and win for a few years and stuff too. And then they like merged it together.
Yeah.
But it's crazy because when y'all think about like the lack of consistency, I'm trying to think that when was there a time when, before Tanae and them did it, when was the last time you could remember when the Femme Queen deemed another person?
I don't know. Not to say that it wasn't, but
I wish we took up more space in our space. That's one thing I wish we did more. We take up space more in our space.
Somebody asked that. They said, when y'all going through a Femme Queen Crazy Sexy Cool ball? I was like, what?
But not even just that. Even at these balls, these butch queens take up the space, baby. They walk. Maybe we just don't take up the space either.
I don't know, but do y'all
Do you
also think that the demon is like misogynistic?
That and I do know a lot of the
ballroom
butch
is.
and that's what Tabytha.
Ballroom is.
I feel like a lot of times I've been around some of my brothers who are calling the icons like, what do I need to do to be legend? And they're putting there also. You also have to have someone like
Campaign.
fighting for
Campaigning
you.
for
You do.
So yeah, so shouts to Rucka and my mother Letitia. They definitely like was talking about it, and she was like, "Boom." And I don't want to be remiss, Auntie Nia, I love you too. Thank you.
Well, why
Who is
would-
Auntie Nia?
It's Anaya.
Oh.
Yeah. You said who's Auntie Nia?
Not Nia.
Nia.
Not Nia.
Auntie Nia.
Okay, Sanaya. Sanaya.
Respect her space.
Type shit. Don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe. You're watching Femme Queen Crazy Sexy Cool.
So while we're on that, I wanted to bring up a question about when I noticed I was sitting on a panel last night, and I just noticed that houses you have to have someone on the panel now. Like it's not without a doubt.
Baby.
Like just politics are in the building. But the first question.
I don't know why you looked at me. I have no allegiance to anything or no politics.
Last night.
No, I don't. Look,
Did I miss something?
You know what it is? It's just that.
No.
It was like we was voting differently at times, and
you
that's
were
just the
young.
way
No,
it
no,
goes.
no.
Yeah.
Don't lie because I don't. Do you want me to say
Call it out, bitch.
She just calls me
Call
out.
it out.
She
This is why
tried
they
to
think we
call-
mean
Right,
girls
I
because we
just
don't
tried to
speak
call
on
me
it,
out.
girl.
I didn't call
You
you
just
out.
tried to call me out.
Call
and
it
now-
out.
Because what you do is stirred. Actually, what she did was say, because what did you do back there? And what you admitted to. So you would have called me out.
They'll never know.
No, she ain't
I'm
gonna-
just saying.
She ain't gonna let you
I'm
spill
not gonna
that.
say
And she
who.
started shit
Right.
already.
Yeah,
I didn't
girl.
start anything.
She
Y'all
just
see,
started-
y'all always talking
I'm
about me
gagging.
starting.
And she
I
would be
love you,
over it.
Angel.
And she would
Just
she
like
would
I
be
love
calling-
you, Angel.
She would be calling production
She
to get
wants
it
you to
taken
shut
out.
up.
So it's just.
We gonna
Yeah, she'll let you take it
I
out.
do not call production.
Girl.
Production will take it out on their time because listen, they
What?
know
They
the
have
edit.
private phone
That
calls.
and
Yeah, here we go. Anyway, that Hennessy
That
On the
is
back
kicking.
end. She's a back end girl.
oh, let me. I said I wasn't gonna say
I don't
that.
But,
do back ends,
see, Angel
not even
pulling me
back
in the
end
eye. I
deals,
said I
but
wasn't gonna-
no.
But no, she wasn't being. I don't mind. Like for me, I'm all about fair. Like even if you
Yeah.
pick over my kids or anyone that is a part of my vision, it's just for me. I just like things to be just like that. But
It
I
has to be
noticed.
fair.
I just
Yeah.
noticed some people on the panel before they was even getting into things, they was already had their mind
They had-
glued. I was getting into all of that. And I was
Yeah.
just like,
I was
I was like,
gagging, too.
damn.
But it's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. Like with ballroom, they always have you under especially I feel like I'm always under this magnifying glass, especially when it comes to face.
Mm-hmm.
And there are girls walking or somebody's walking, they always
That camera
expect
was
there
like
to be.
this.
Yeah, so I was looking back,
To
the
catch
camera
you
was waiting
judging,
to
I
see
was
who I
gagging
was
at
going
that.
to pick.
Well, you know, you got to think about who you are. Who are you? You know what I'm saying? In the scene,
Right.
you're iconic. And so your vote truly matters. And that is exactly why only truly matters should sit on the panel.
They was
Not
making people
those.
getting up on certain categories.
And that's why are you putting them there? You should never have to get up and during ball. These should be the judges, and that should be it.
But I
if
mean,
they
but
are
you
too
can't-
stern, pay it. They
I
have
don't
to
think
be
it was too
there.
stern. I think like, okay, so if you had a face girl who really was in fashion, then when fashion came, they were pretty like they were doing it like that. Only like a couple of like in and outs happened last night.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Mugler Ball, our guest today just won one of the biggest pageants, and she also debuted last night in the House of Gorgeous Gucci, a gorgeous
Yes.
girl. She is Midori Monet.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Gucci.
Yeah.
The gorgeous Gucci's was in the building last night.
Yes, they were. Before I say this question, I definitely want to give a shout out to the House of Mugler. I honestly, truly believe it was just beautiful. The production,
yes.
the Grand March, the styling, the looks, the venue, even security down. I mean, they did everything. None of the girls felt uncomfortable. It was really a good vibe. But
Except for
yeah,
that ramp.
I said the ramp that
that's
the girls
true.
are slipping on.
The ramp.
Oh, that ramp
was
was-
Judy.
Who fouled?
Girl,
No. But last night, Mugler threw a beautiful ball, but some important factors were missed, including some houses. Do you believe that politics and old grudges have ruined ballroom to the point where it's impossible to come back?
I just want to say that I did expect to see certain competition on the floor that did not hit the floor. Like, for example, especially for realness, like I was really wanting to see like the House of Balenciaga because their realness lineup is not to be played with.
They
So
wasn't
shouts to
there
the
last
House.
night.
They wasn't there, and that's due to some of the politics. And I'm just recently like hearing all those things. But for me, it's just like people come expecting certain things. If I'm paying all that money, I want an experience. I don't just want to come and be in attendance. I want to see a competition. I want to have a good time. I love when all the houses are there and they're chanting and you see the camaraderie, like the Chanel ball was, like the houses was in there. It was packed. They were cheering. And I think that it may not be to the point of not being able to be reconciled, but I think there needs to be some serious mending within ballroom. So like this boycotting specific balls or like these things like it can hurt the culture, but I also understand that certain things are just inexcusable and certain conversations need to be had.
But that goes to selfish ways. It's like when you sit at the table and you're arguing with someone as a leader or as of a house, you're not just talking for self, you're talking for everybody. So me saying we're not going to go nowhere, we're not going here because of this, that means you didn't put your personal issues aside or just even have conversations to say, what can we do to fix this? And I think that's what I've noticed. We don't do that just as a group of people to say, what can we do to fix this? It's always about F them. I'm not going to them, they tried it. Well, what about better? What about showing better? Because that's how we evolve as a community.
But listen, as a ball promoter, I have been in a predicament where people have threatened me not to show up to the ball or saying their house is not going to come and stuff. But what I do realize is that we always support the repeat offenders, people who do not throw the fabulous ball, people who give you a tired table, people who give you a trophy that breaks when you walk out the door. But when it comes to somebody who's going to give you a great experience, I was gagging at how many people were coming against the Mugler ball. Like, you know, making this big deal about the $100, which was a re-entry fee. The regular fee was $50, which is basically the average now of what ballroom, especially
80, right?
You want a fab event. That event was fab.
Yeah.
Like, I did think that there should have been more people in the building. Like, I was gagging. I was like, is this because this place is so big that it looks like that? But then I realized there was a lot of people who just weren't in attendance. But I thought that the outcome was really beautiful.
too.
But I do think that, yes, it would be great if we could come together. If the Lions really made more sense, like there's an alliance meeting, like that's where they should that's where they should work these things out.
That's what I mean. Like during those times, like what are we doing in those alliance meetings if we're not having the hard, different, like
the same
conversations?
That's small talk.
So like I think that you know some people just refuse to be accountable.
But sometimes if somebody does something, like I have been in a situation that somebody have treated the house completely wrong, you know, or done something in the past, and I'm like, bitch, we're not going. Like, if you continue to do something to somebody, to a house, then why support them? So I don't know what happened in these situations, but I don't know. I love the Muglers. I've been in a Mugler twice. So I had to,
Wow.
yeah, I left it with that.
I was looking at it. Shouts to Arturo. The production and everything was so dope. It was so seamlessly. It was just like boom, and it didn't take long. It wasn't draining. You were fully entertained.
It was excitement.
Yeah, like
I'm high
like
with them.
Like it was so dope. The production was top tier. Arturo carried.
And it's not shade to the houses that didn't show up, because this is more about the bigger picture of the topic. It's more about just everyone coming together and just having those conversations of like, how can we do better as a community instead of holding those grudges, because those continue the process longer and longer and longer, where it takes a hold on a community where it's like we sit at the balls and no one claps for people and for LSS because we're holding
Oh, did you
grudges.
see
It's
that?
like,
Yeah,
keep it
some
on the
people
floor.
do.
Like, if you want to throw shade, let's battle. Let's take it there. If we're off the floor, we should be all at the bar getting drinks. Like, are we not
Yes.
having a great time? Like,
And that's what I'm paying for. If I'm paying that money, I want to have fun. I want to see people
Yes.
clearing. I want to walk around. I want to do everything, you know?
Yeah.
And there's this continuing conversation about the cost of entry for balls, right? Because of the economic system now and where we're at as an economy. However, like those conversations are crucial, but every time we come up with those conversations, it goes back to what you were saying. Like we will support those who don't throw good balls, but those who bring us quality functions, we don't support. We find the right time, and then we're just trying to get like the of the years or all these things. So we're picking all these other balls. However, I do think that when we have that conversation about economy and what's good for the community, and are we like, you know, like capitalism in our own community by taking from our own, we also have to tie in the fact of the cost of the venue.
They were giving
the
away
catering
$60,000 too,
Yeah,
and that
everything.
building. Like they gave away a lot of money last night. It came into like $60,000 that they gave away. So yes, I do understand the economic times, but
so
everything
you
is
believe
charged.
that we should invest in our community?
Invest in our community,
Yeah.
especially if they're giving away $60,000.
Why
I can
wouldn't you
expect
come?
them to charge $50. Like outside of that, everything is raising. I was like, makeup artists are charging more than they was,
$250.
bitch. What? Like
Yeah.
everybody is like charging more nowadays. Everything is more nowadays.
So before I had said I have went against that, and I was like, I think in ballroom we should be more like the performers should pay less than the. But I do love the fact of investing. I didn't think about it in that way of thinking like investing back into your community, where hey, I'm gonna put $100 towards my house members because they're walking anyway. Each person that's coming into the ball because you want to see something. You can look at it any type of way, but I still do think that spectators should pay more, a little more. I do
Those who are
think so.
not walking.
Yeah,
how do
that's
you-
not even in the scene.
Oh, so for then, how are you gonna? So then, the thing is, how are you able to landscape that? How are you able to survey that and see who's in the scene and who's not? Like, is there gonna be like a sign up? Like, will
we
you
talked
purchase
about
a
a sign up. Like,
Yeah, like
sign
you can
up,
say
you
that
can
you're
do-
in what house, and then who is to say that a person like, oh, I'm in such and such house, but they really not.
But it
Like, how do
happens.
you-
It happens out of the country. We seen it. You sign up. You literally have to sign up, and you have like that's you signing.
But they
up.
have like, but again, like, how do you determine if someone? I could just say, okay, I
their
wanna
scene
get
is not
into
as
a
big as ours.
Right,
either.
We
because
also
they have
don't
a
look at
small
it in a
local
way like
scene.
someone is gonna lie. Like they don't look at it like someone is actually naturally
Right.
gonna lie. They're looking at it like, assuming that's that trauma.
Mm.
No, I'm kidding. No, I'm
And they
kidding.
need to, and they need
must
to
heal,
what?
and they need to heal.
They must
We
heal.
already. They
Bitch, you lying and
I
you
can
must
say it
heal.
now. Can I
Bitch,
say
you
it
lying
now?
and you need to heal.
Can I say healing now?
You need to heal.
I can say
Well, what
it.
was your favorite category?
Oh,
last
that was going to be
night?
my question.
Go ahead, say it.
Shout out to the Leos.
No
Leo.
shade. First of all, I love my son because he carried last night. Shouts out to Triple M. Miguel, you did your thing last night. But my favorite category of the night was the face category.
As a house.
Yes, it was
Yes.
so dope.
It was.
The tension, like the tension, like it kind of gave. Oh shit! You didn't know which way it was gonna go.
Yeah.
But bitch, the way Christian
Oh, bitch, Christian was
wanted that,
He
No
looked
shade.
me. He looked that lady in her face.
the way that
He
the
licked
light
her
fell
face.
Did you?
on him.
He licked her face.
He didn't look her
God,
face.
That was so. It was like so sexy and shady at the same time. It was like,
Let me tell
You
you,
needed that.
a lot of times, people are looking from the audience, the spectators, and they see people get up on the runway from afar. And so they're like, oh, that bitch is sitting, these people are sitting, blah, blah, blah. Everyone did look beautiful. But that light right at the judges
what?
panel was Judy.
Oh no.
Bitch, that light.
Oh, are we gonna
Was
go there
catching-
deep? Are we gonna go deeper into
Yeah.
that?
Ooh,
About that phone call?
what phone call?
Oh, yeah. And so there was things that we were told too on the phone call versus what happened there in person. There were certain things like, material. Everybody had to be in the same material on the phone call, but then in person it changed. They said your shoes had to be a part of the same material like that you use or whatever. And then when we got there, they said no, it didn't matter. So there was a lot of things changing. But as far as like, you know, the face category and stuff, everyone looked really good. But some people were just so on for the lighting, like their skin looked like butter, like, you know, and that's what I'm looking for at the time, you know. And you know, it was going different ways last night, but I thought it was gonna be as a house battle.
Yeah.
I didn't think that they were gonna battle individually.
Question.
And if they battled as a house, what you was gonna say?
If it was as a house, who was your vote?
Well, but it wasn't as a house, but I'm gonna be real. If it was as a house, because of what I was told on the phone conversation, it would have been the T-Sheets. Like, they would have won as a house. Like, everybody was in uniform. There was someone's material who was slightly different in the House of Gorgeous Gucci when they came out. That was different. But then they said that it was all plastic. I don't know. But as far as, like, the uniform, like, everyone, like, looking together and everything like that, everybody looked really good. That white thing that she had on, that was sickening. Like, you know, their look, it was sickening, but there was like one that I was like, okay, maybe that didn't really fit like that compared to the T-Sheets. And I believe that was, everybody thought that across the board. But they told us last night that they were going to battle one by one, but I thought it was Faces the House. Instead, I thought they would have battled as a house. But
Bitch, I tell you one thing, Kristen ran through that line.
sure did.
So I'm gonna announce my letdown category because I just have to because I'm a part of the category. But shout out to, you know, my J Bills. You definitely did your big one last night. Shout out to Tempress for your debut. You looked amazing. But my favorite category definitely was Phase. I feel like those two, it just was exciting. It was just fun to see them going at it. You felt their energy, like this is about to get good. Who you think? We was literally in the VIP section. Me and I forgot his name, but me and this gorgeous Gucci, we were just like, who's sitting, and it was just fun, like just doing that. But my favorite piece, Sade, that effect, that yellow, that motherfucking, it was disgusting. But baby, shout out to my motherfucking Leo. Christian, you sold it to the core. You did your big one. You looked amazing. The skin was impeccable. I saw it from all the way from the top.
Yeah, when
His skin was
from
on,
the
he
back.
was sitting really bad. Like he was
And he just
sitting.
knew, he understood the lighting. Like he understood.
Did you see that when
It
he
was
went and he was like, it was
Oh.
catching angles? Because I went back and looked at the lives that were going. Christian kind of knew where to sit, where that face was at. He was on. He wanted that. He needed that, and he got it.
Yeah, he
so
was
that
running,
shows that
enjoyed
when
it.
you
He was running
committed,
through the people.
right? You know, and he had fun with it, and just to see the camaraderie and them hugging each other, even though like they was throwing a look at that in the beginning, that's what made the category hot. But in the end, they all came together. Now we don't know. By the time they got home, they was like, "Bitch, out there."
Oh, you know, the kitchen talks was like,
You know they
But
kitchen
another
talks like
category, I will also say, the wellness category was nice last night too.
Which one?
Shouts, all of them. I love the wellness
You like all of them?
categories.
Okay.
However, I want to just take this moment to shout out the icon Rucker for returning to the floor. The Margiela squad came out there. Reggie, you did your thing. Y'all, you did your thing. Like, I was so happy to see them out and like us just having a good time.
Y'all walked last time?
Yeah, y'all walked. He had them eyes. He had these
What do you want,
eyes
British
that kind of
Business?
scared me. No, I think it was everyday realness, but you had to bring like, I forgot. But he came out and he did his thing. Like, I was very proud of y'all. Thank y'all for stepping
So
up.
my letdown category, unfortunately, was Femme Queen performance. It was
Here we
like
go.
from the effects, from the performance, I was just so like. But I also feel like that shouldn't. Maybe it was because it was the end of the night. Maybe my girls. I feel like my girls was drained. Even though that's the case, I do feel like Tutu definitely and Kiana Revlon were my favorite of the night in that category. But I just overall, I feel like for 10K, it should have been better than the 5K. Like the 5K in 2019 was amazing,
they
and I
carried
think
it.
they maybe should have changed it. I don't think they should have kept it
The
the
same.
same as far as dance hall queen, because a lot of them didn't understand. Like Kamaya understood when
So
she
again-
engaged. Like it was
So-
giving
so-
Queen.
so
London
again-
understood.
Right? So again, they were not present.
But I feel like all of them, it just wasn't. They understood the category. Every girl that got 10s in 2019.
They turned it. They
did like
I kept saying, I
I
literally,
didn't see it last night.
I even had to stop myself because I was the one that was like, I kept saying to everybody, I said, where's your dance hall move? Where's your dance hall move? They was even allowing them to stop and do it. And I'm just like, what do you mean? Like, this is for 10K. And it shouldn't just be a move. You should go above and beyond for the category. It says dance hall move, bitch, do 10. Dude, it's incorporated with your performance. Like, it just didn't give last night for me.
Yeah.
But I will say that, like, I'm not going to be one of those girls that talk from behind the table. That would never happen again, and I'm not on the floor because I would have demolished that. Like, that was just
told
like,
your
Asia was
ass.
like, no
dance hall,
shade.
like I would
told
never
you, I said, you
sit on
don't
the
think
back and
so?
reading. I'm never gonna be one of the girls sitting on the back and reading. Well, I definitely still have it. So I'm like that
Say it
category.
again.
That
She tried
category.
to, I thought her ass was getting out there. I thought she still was gonna surprise us at the last.
just
Because,
wasn't-
you know,
I just
she
wasn't-
did
And then
for
she
a
got on
surprise.
the judges called. I was like, this bitch really ain't walking.
I really know because when they act, because it was just a lot going on within the house, and it was just like, I just didn't feel the energy. I didn't feel that vibe, and I'm more of an energy set, so I just was like, but when I was getting prepared to just go to the ball, I was like, I think I really, really want to walk, but I didn't feel that support as far as like that push, like you got to get out there. Like when I was at Aga, that's one thing. Harold and Dante, they was like, bitch, you got to walk. They kept on you. So I definitely will say that I think if that would have happened for me, I
Yeah,
would
but
definitely
sometimes the girls
really
need that. I've been
They
in that
need that
position.
extra
You need
push
that.
so
You
can
You want
feel
somebody
it
to
when you
feel
get
like,
out
okay,
there.
you ain't, to make you feel it. Yeah.
because it's like maybe I'm not, but I definitely, I wouldn't, I'm not gonna be one of those, hating girls to sit on the side and reading the kids. That would never happen again. We
I
get
would
out there
tell you
next
this,
time.
well, shouts to the House of West for the 10K.
They're not
did their
playing.
thing.
They taking the money home, baby.
Oh, for the
They taking the money home. What they 60K? 60K now?
Yeah.
Because the West kids too, like me watching them last night, like they be having fun and they be also be
Yes.
performing to the judges. Like, bitch, they carries like, bitch, you see me, like
Yeah.
So I live for that.
I got to
like
practice with them. That's why I understand. It's like, bitch, go compete with anybody.
Yes,
And
they
might
get
even bully
out
you. They
there.
might even bully you, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, they outside. And I
And
feel
James,
like
you look good last night. Oh,
it's just like for me, like
He
you
looked nice.
gotta get like I practice them so they're getting outside, they're hungry.
Yeah.
And that's when you notice the August because they always give them a month. It's just like
No
that.
shade.
Like it's
Yeah.
always like
No
they're
shade.
so. I definitely you missed it. You knew they was gone because there was no one giving them that vibe.
At all. What I will say is shouts also to the overall Father Deshaun West. That was
there was some new positions
Yeah,
given
I
out last
gagged at
night.
that. I was not ready for that. I
He's
was
not
like,
a
whoa.
Lamb anymore. He's a boy. He's
a West.
Sabaju, he threw a middle finger at us last night. The guy.
I was gagging at that. I
He
felt
did
like
what?
some dude.
Some dude. It
That was
a
just like the
prodigy.
weirdest. I want like
One
you
of the
don't know how
prodigies.
bad I wanted to
Do a
get
middle
up and-
finger at you.
Because
Like, no,
we picked
at
over.
us.
We picked
Oh, yeah,
over.
picked
So
over
we
them.
picked over our
Like,
prodigy.
where's that come
Y'all
from?
see the girl through the kids at me. I
Oh
flew
my
one
gosh,
back.
she
I
was
just
not
threw-
ready
I went
for
like
you.
this. I went like this, and I was just like with love.
Yeah. It was a lot. Like,
Listen, I'm not a shady judge, and I don't have
Same. I'm
I
keeping
don't
it
have
fair.
no horse in this race. So, bitch, if I'm picking you because of
They
what I
should
see.
stay Simon
bitch.
Cole up. I guess it come with the territory.
Yeah. Oh,
Well, overall, it was a very great
Yeah,
ball.
well.
I had a great time. We missed getting our pictures together because you hit it.
yeah. After I got off the piano, I went downstairs for a little bit. It gets like kind of, I don't know. For me, it's like, oh my God, like, I don't know. I've done it for so many years, and it's like, it just gets a little overwhelming. Like sometimes, like I had fun on the
Overstimulation,
piano,
yeah.
the overstimulation. Like it was like I had fun on the piano, but I can be like socially awkward. Well, I don't. So I have to be Tempress in the moment. Like I have to be like, oh, thank you, blah blah blah. Which I love speaking to people and all of that and talking to people. But then after a while, I have to go back into my space because I start feeling like, do I look right? Are people looking at me?
Right, all
like,
of that.
You know,
all of that,
all of
Fix
that
your
is
shirt.
going through your
Pull it this
head.
way.
Yes.
Yeah,
like,
and
you
I
know,
think
so,
that's where you don't talk about that, the
Right.
overstimulation of being in that space with all those energies. Like you could be thinking one thing and looking directly at a person and they think you throwing shade
Yes.
or you didn't speak to them or you was like, and I'm like, no, I'm just in competition mode. Like we here at the event now, so it's like we could get up later. And I
don't
think a lot of
consider
people,
speak to everybody.
We don't
I think a
consider
lot of
others.
people don't like have that empathy to understand that, like especially like when you're trying to coach your members and people are trying to stop you, hey, and you're like, hey, and you can only talk for a minute. But I always make
I talked to everybody last night. Right.
No, she being shady.
She thinks she all of that. And my thing
Girl,
is,
you must
it's
not
not
be like this. You probably she want to that. She like you every girl. She feeling it.
No, but I would never do that. I make it my business to stop and talk to everyone who comes over to me. And thank you for everyone who actually truly like fucks with us like that and comes over and be like, yo, we love the show. We love what y'all doing.
Yeah, shout out to
like, thank y'all
everyone.
so much.
Yes.
We received that love. Yeah.
So since we're on empathy, we're on that type of energy and just being in spaces. Last week, a transgender individual entered the women's restroom.
It's
at
big
the
dick to the
gym.
women's bathroom. It's big dick to the women's bathroom.
What's that? What?
No, Tish, that's what Tish was yelling.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's big dick to the women's bathroom.
I'm just smelling the
Wait,
flowers.
the women's restroom at the gym. A young woman responded by screaming and yelling.
There's big dicks in the women's bathroom. There's big dicks.
And the question I have for my co-host, in this climate, how can we navigate this situation safely as trans people?
I had said to myself, I had promised myself that I wasn't going to talk about this. Like, I really didn't want to talk about it because there's just so many things that come to mind around this situation about who's wrong, who's right, and this, and that. What I will say to the situation as best I can is when we lack empathy, we start to believe that our self-preservation and our safety are the only thing that matters and we don't consider others. Right? And that's just how I feel about it. So when we are not thinking about others and we're only exclusively thinking about ourselves, then we'll take the liberty to always be story chasers and always want to get a sound bite to talk on conversations because the conversation is hot. And then the next day you're on to the next topic. So to me, when we start throwing veiled things like what leadership and what community should do in these moments, I think we all need to take a step back because the following day, when it came out that the young person was in there flashing people, you know, there was not that same energy for the conversation anymore. And my thing is, this is why it's always good to wait until you hear the story. It's also very important that we have empathy for others outside of our own selves. Like other people need safety too.
Yes.
What we need to do is have conversations about how that coexists and build strategies so that everyone can go to the gym and have spaces where they can feel safe. And I know that speaks to like, well, then you're only saying what the other people are saying. I do what I do because I do it for real, but I also have empathy for others. So I have
was a bar.
I have a, huh? What happened?
That was a bar, okay?
No, I'm just saying, like, no, she always doing this to me. No, because I'm adamant about that. And every time I speak about it, it's like there's cancel culture even within our community. Like if you don't agree with a certain extreme, they make you out to, you're alive and you're an oppressor. And I'm like, oh my God, I
Maybe
just
they
have
are.
a difference of opinion. You know, like it may not be yours, but can we just pause for a minute to understand what that might have felt like for someone who have probably experienced SAID? Could we kind of pause and take a moment to understand what that would feel like? Because if I walked out of a shower, I don't give a fuck where I'm at. and somebody is nude around me,
In a
showing
woman's
me
bathroom
stuff,
with your stuff
like,
out,
bitch,
bitch.
that's great. Like, that goes crazy for me.
Yeah,
and it
I would've
doesn't
felt
mean that I'm
uncomfortable.
never going to fight for my people, because you could check the credentials. I'm going to always fight for mine. But are we letting inclusivity cloud what safety looks like for everyone?
Like, I mean, because you don't want to disrupt, like,
Oh my gosh.
I feel like there was a certain point, even like, you know, we talk about like starting, transitioning, and things like that. We talk about like everybody starts somewhere and stuff, but
Oh, girl, I hate that.
so the conversation is,
miss
first
me
of all,
with
I
that.
never see us in these situations.
They never look like us. So here's another thing. Like, these things that happen, they never
Don't cut
reflect.
her off 90 seconds. Finish.
No, go ahead.
Oh, bitch, no, because they get me mad. That's why I said I didn't want to talk about it, because I
Go ahead.
didn't join the conversation. But after, like, talking to my niece Monroe and stuff, after, and I even spoke to Hope, and I spoke about all, you know, I spoke to those who I'm connected to, and I don't say their names to name drop, because you'll never see me be a bitch that will not be, but would be afraid to say people who I talk to or who help me form my opinions, because I don't only take my opinions for self and make it be Bible. I talk to others to make sure, because we collectively have to have these understandings. I also think that certain conversations need to be inward. We don't always need to be front facing with our conversations. So what I will say to that is just that I get tired of people throwing that in our faces. Oh, you forget where you came from. You forget when you started, because now you look, and I'm like, girl, what?
But we
like,
weren't-
and
Would
that
because,
sound
and
big-
because
But
of
there was
that,
a
but
thing-
also because of that, you won't mention my name in spaces. Because of that, you won't let me in, because you think that I have proximity to what your idea of what femininity or a woman looks like, and it meets the conceptual standards. I paid a lot of money and went under a lot of knives and laid on that table and went to sleep for some hours to bake and come out and looking like this. I am proud of my journey, and everyone should be proud of their journeys. But one thing that I did know is I would use the bathroom when I felt it was safe, and I wasn't going in there to try to offend anyone. And my transness is not what made me feel as though I had access to any fucking space without considering others. It's just not right, y'all. Do better.
So I definitely understand where you're coming from, and just that, because that's where I was. Like, I was like, yeah, because you know when I first started, I didn't, you had to. It was a thing of you for safety, but then I thought about. I did the thing that you said that we should do, is think about others, right? And the issue, we shouldn't be the oppressors. We shouldn't be those type
It's
of
not
people, right?
oppressor. We're not
But
being
hold on, wait.
oppressor.
But I feel like you have to think about those people who don't have that trauma that we have, or we had to have safety, or we had to learn from others.
You mean the privileged folk?
It don't matter what it is, because you said think about others. Empathy don't give you the time to say, oh, I'm not gonna think about them because they're privileged. I'm gonna go think about them because they're not privileged. That's just trauma. That's
So
not
you know
oppressive.
why
That's
priv-
we
so let
do
me
that
tell
as
you-
people. We pass on trauma. We pass on that knowledge. That's why I said healing is really think about taking off those blinders, because we're not even realizing, even as trans women, what we oppress onto each other.
We do a
Our
lot.
trauma, and I'm not saying that, I also don't feel where you're coming from, because I come from that system. But I sat down and watched someone's clip, and they were doing that, and I was just like, damn, I feel like me being in therapy and understanding and truly, really understanding empathy is about not really just yourself. It's really thinking about where the other person, and giving them the benefit of the doubt, like where they could be and where they could come from. Those people that you say privileged, obviously different from us.
But
They
see, there
come
were so
from
many parts to
different-
this story, like, because I seen another trans girl talk about she goes to the same gym and she has
Did you
no
hear that?
problems. You know, she said
And
she
she looked
had
like
no
us.
problems, and this black girl, she was.
But that's called that's
But
like,
So-
this
judging.
person,
So-
but
and
also
it's not about
this
colors.
person, no,
That's
not.
those
I'm
black
just
men
saying,
that say you got to when we go into those spaces, because we don't want to rile those people up.
But like she
It's
said,
like, at the end,
privilege
this
does
is
show
not
up
your
differently. I
bathroom.
realize even with privilege, like it shows up differently when it comes like with even the way this person was talking. First of all, I think that's Tish hit, but I don't know the whole story.
She
but she
was
was
wrong.
carrying
She's
on.
upset because
she did get very transphobic. Like
We
you
just
know,
got in those
or-
she just got into those bathrooms. So it's just one of
And
those
looking
things.
like the way she
so it's
looked.
just like, why do we
Looking like the way
why
she
do
looked.
no,
Tish, you
it's
need
not
to be
about that.
ashamed of
We
yourself.
weren't even, it's oppressed. If we really sit and just sit back and think for a second and truly take those blinders off, you sit and think about, oh yeah.
But
So
did
my
you
thing-
see the
So
way
wait,
this person was
so
talking
wait,
to her
so
at
wait.
first?
Because she was naked.
If I be real,
She was naked. She
Right.
was naked, right?
And but then I seen people say that you shouldn't get naked. Like, how could you tell a person in the gym if they just took if this
So
is the
how do
woman?
you tell a trans woman?
Why would you
that
have your
she-
stuff out? Like, I'm never gonna agree with that. I'm sorry.
I'm not saying I'm agreeing with it. It's about the fact of giving other people
No, but you're looking for like I don't. Why would you just have your stuff out? Like,
Did
in
she
a
have her
woman's
stuff
bathroom?
out? That's
They
the question.
said that I
They
don't know.
said,
There was
right.
two different stories. One
But
said
is there
that
proof?
there was a towel and they just had the genitals hanging. Then there was another story was saying that they've seen the trans woman said that person was in there naked a few times where she felt comfortable. She
Again.
said that they had been going back
Do
and
you know
forth for the whole week.
there's women, cisgender
look.
women that I have heard that feel uncomfortable when cisgender women are naked. So that's just it's even we're a lot of us we get those same situations. Black girls go in the bathroom and get targeted as well, but it's just not on media, and that's why I'm talking about media is doing certain things where we're the
It's
problem
framing
right
us a
now.
certain
Trans
way.
people are the problem right now. So yeah, like they're putting us on the media, they're putting things and making it seem like, oh yeah, they're a problem, they're this and that. When have you ever, and regardless in the books, when have trans people even bothered people? We don't bother people because we want to just be a part of those things. They come at us because it's different than what great America. They say make America great again. We go against that.
I just want us to put our best foot forward. And I know everybody's not going to have, everybody's not going to be passing privilege and everybody's not.
Safety, that's
going
when
to
safety
be
is called
pretty
safety.
and all that type of stuff. But
I just think
honestly,
that
when I
a
was
lot of
first
people-
watching it and the aggression from this person and stuff, and then the way that they were like talking to each other.
Babe.
I just think that,
And
you
then
know,
were they-
these things have a way of framing other conversations around how we want feminine energy to always be one way, and it's like so patriarch, and you know, feminine women don't have to be this submissive docile. They could be strong, radical, and all these things. And I get that, right? I'm gonna always fight for everyone to have the right to be free and to be liberated in their own selves and their own bodies. I just think that until that time has happened, we need to make sure that we are not only thinking about our own self-preservation,
And that should be everybody.
And that should be that's what I'm
Everybody.
saying.
Everybody.
I'm talking about the
Even
women
that
as well.
woman that was in
Yeah,
there
listen,
that was saying what she's
my
saying.
love,
you put both
I'm
of
not
them in
finished.
safety. Okay.
All right, that's what I'm saying.
I'm sorry, comments. I'm not meaning to
but
jump
this
over
is
her.
what. Listen, I'm not saying that, right? So this is not an either or.
Yeah.
I'm saying as a whole, we need to begin to have empathy for each other. And that's why when I have those conversations about empathy, it's not a healing thing. It's about just understanding that we're human and that I have to use the bathroom, and I'm really not concerned about that. But we can't also think that these opportunities, that people won't exploit those opportunities to promote their whatever it is they're doing. I think it could go on both ends, because women are aggressive as well. Like, I've had women who've asked me type of things because they assumed I was lesbian and stuff like that. And I'm like, and then when they find out you're trans, they automatically think until I'm like, I'm sex change. So there are things that happen to me as a person. So again, like, I just think that it's a situation. And until we actually can have a healthy conversation with ourselves around how we navigate those spaces, I think a lot of that conversation shouldn't be so front-facing all the time, because people were so quick to jump out there and have these conversations and then bring other people into the conversation who had nothing to do with it. It was just messy, and I'm like, when are we going to stop doing that?
Yeah, they did. Like, that was crazy.
When are we going to stop doing that?
I don't see nothing wrong with
and stop using these
conversation.
platforms to like
That was crazy. You
take
talking about
shots.
with the India?
Yes,
Oh, I
take
did. That was
shots
crazy.
at
Yeah, that
others.
was crazy.
My thing is just like, and it went on for an extended period of time. I'm like, that has nothing to do with the conversation.
Yeah, that
Why
was
is it even
crazy.
allowed to happen? And why are we front facing with these issues? But then when we see each other at these spaces, it's like, hey, how you doing? Oh, girl. And y'all taking pictures.
But
And
India
I'm just-
said,
What she said?
because I'm not getting paid to go to these bookings and stuff to speak on. She said, you know, a lot of these advocates want to be the Beyonce of advocacy. And she said, that's why these girls tend to try to tear each other down or say things like, and sometimes the advocates, it does seem like I want to be the best. Like sometimes it's like, are you advocating or do you want entertainment?
So
Like, who do you want to
here's
be
the
a
thing.
celebrity or are you
Everyone
really
gotta
advocating?
heal.
Like
Healing.
that's where it starts to
Healing.
bother
Even those
me.
who advocate need to heal.
No. Here's the thing. I have an opinion, right? And it may not be popular opinion.
That's what she does on the phone.
But I always say that there's a difference between the advocate and the influencer. An advocate can influence you, but you can know an advocate because their work is connected deep root to grassroots, and you can see it being developed in community. I.e., follow my page.
But even some of them,
I.e.,
even some of
follow
them
my-
is chasing the
my-
bag.
Wait a minute, hold
But
on.
even some of them
Hold
are
on.
chasing the
Hold on.
bag,
Hold
which
on.
is fine.
Hold on.
But
I.e., follow my page for some upcoming empowerment tools so you can begin your social activism. Because that's what activists do. We give it back so that our communities are
let's bring on the
empowered.
gas.
So no, I'm not finished yet. See, you're not going to do that.
Well,
'cause
this
you
is not
have
the
some
Tabytha
favorite
show.
You have some favorite advocates
Two
that
shots
you like
of
that are
Henny.
influencers. And I'm not taking that from you, but India's right. You can tell who's in it for the money, and you can tell who's in it for the community at large, because they're still doing what we call the work. And this is not taking shots at anybody. I think that everything has its space and everything works for the greater good. But until we start respecting where everyone is at and their level of empowerment or liberation, then we can begin to come together. Because if not, we're going to continue to have these popcorn conversations about who passes, who doesn't, what fab advocate is here, what influencer is doing this, who's taking the money, who's doing that. Meanwhile, to India's defense, I can say that she has used her privilege to privilege others, and I know that for a fact.
And she
Yeah,
might
she
have
talks
harmed
about it
people
all the
too.
time.
Just four
She said
agreements.
that
The
she
four
had them.
agreements is just amazing worldwide. Pick you up a copy. It's very important, and you are badass. And before we go into our guests, I definitely want to give a shout out to those who have donated to our food drive.
Yes,
Y'all are
the
doing your
food
big
drive
one. And
is-
if you want to
yes.
continue to donate, sister, what's the cash app?
So it's Femme Queen Craze, $ Femme Queen Craze. It'll be in the comment section. So feel free to give. We right at like we've had some great donations.
Yes.
And I want you all to know that the date will be coming soon where you can join us and sort out the food. We're actually looking to just feed the people.
Yes.
Right. And if there are local stores that want to support us in this initiative, and this is something that we want to do for our community at large, because we don't need to just be talking about it. We're going to be about it. We're in the business of serving, and that's what we're going to do here at Femme Queen Crazy Sexy.
And I want to give extended invitation to other houses to just come, put their differences aside and let's just help, because the House of Allure and House of Margiela will be there in attendance as well.
And there was a lot of people in the comments saying that they
Yes.
wanted
wanna
to.
help.
Yes,
Come
they
join
are.
Yeah, we will
Shout
post a
out
date
to
for them to
Surface
come.
Level Podcast. Y'all was the first ones to jump in there too as well.
Yes.
Thank
Hopefully they attend. Like, let's put our gloves on and let's just
Let's
help
go out and
others.
feed the people.
God
Yes.
definitely. Oof. But yes.
You felt that?
Yes, because I did it in Atlanta, and it was like, shout out to my girl Misha Lay. Like, she pulled up and was like, girl, she got in the mud, and I was just, come on, sister, that's what it's about. It's just about giving to others. It's about actually, especially when you have it, I'm like, God put it on you. When God put it on your heart, you just gotta
You
do
just
it.
got to do it. So
Yeah.
thank y'all. Please continue to donate. We'll release the date soon. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. The Femme Queen Food Drive coming soon.
And we'll be back with the model, the actress, the activist, newly crowned Miss International USA.
Yes.
I got it right?
Yes, you
Yes.
did.
We'll be back with Midori Monet.
Gorgeous. Gucci.
Oh, what's goody? Don't you forget to like, share, and comment, because you are now watching Femme Queen Crazy, Sexy, and Cool. And we're back with the writer, the activist, the fashion designer, and the current Miss Miss and
International?
Miss International
You had
USA. Oh gosh,
ma'am.
yes, and then Miss International USA.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm amazing. What an honor to be here at Femme Queen Crazy Sexy Cool.
Yes.
Every Femme Queen's dream. We're here, and I'm so happy to be here. Thank you all for having me.
Thank you for being
Yes, it was good. I was gagging. I was on a panel last night and I seen you come out. You did your debut in the House of Gorgeous Gucci.
Yes.
Congratulations for that. Was that your first time in mainstream? I've seen you talk a little bit about ballroom, but you mentioned the Kiki scene
Yeah.
one time I was reading something.
Yeah.
So is this your first time at a major ball? And
So technically, no. This is my third ball ever in my life. I think my first one was the Ovenus ball in LA, the infamous one where everyone got COVID afterwards. Yeah.
Oh no.
No?
No.
Just me?
no, there was a ball.
No, there was a ball. I just didn't go. I didn't go.
Yeah,
Bro,
no,
the
there
ball
was.
was so crazy. I remember leaving the ball and I get to my car and there's some butch queen in my car and the passenger seat passed out, drunk,
Oh,
throw
shit.
up all over my car.
Oh,
I said,
no.
oh, baby, everybody in that car on the way. We drove from Washington State to the ball in LA. We all got COVID on the way back. I said, oh my gosh.
Oh,
threw it
God,
up
That was
in
the
your
throw
mouth.
up. That was the vomit.
Baby, I said, how did you even get in my
It was the lethal
car?
vomit.
How did they get in your car?
That's the question of the evening.
Did you know that?
Wait, you drew
No,
when you drove them
never
back?
knew.
You drove him back to Washington?
I don't know who he was.
No,
I said, you gotta take it out my car, baby. I don't know what's going on.
And so you're from Seattle.
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
Okay,
Mhm.
I
great.
love Seattle.
How long have you been in the pageant scene?
So, my first pageant, I did a queer pageant when I was 18. It was Miss Teen Pride. It was like a drag pageant. I'm a drag performer back home in Seattle. So that's where I got my start into performing, makeup, hair, all that. I won that title and then I moved into Miss Washington USA. I'm one of the first Black trans women to ever compete in the Miss USA system for Washington. I was a top 6 finalist. I had a really great time. And I think from there I was like, okay, no more pageants. I'm good. I dipped my toe in the water. I had a good time. I'm fine. And then a recruiter from Miss International Queen, Kimmy Kim, tell me how you feel. She reached out to me for like 2 weeks and she was like, girl, do this pageant. And it took 2 weeks because I was like, no, I'm okay. I'm fine. And she's like, no, do the pageant. Like, this would be amazing for you. And I was like, no, I'm okay. I just did Miss Washington. It was a really big deal. This is a lot for me. She was like, no, you don't understand. Like, this could be your moment. There's nothing that, like, would hinder you. Like, we're paying for your application fee. Usually it's like a fee. We're waiving that. All you need to do is get a plane ticket. We have a hotel. We have food for you. Everything's covered. Just get here. I said, okay, girl, if life is giving you so many opportunities, there's only so many times you can say no to it. I went, and then I won, and then I went to Thailand, and then I won again. So I wouldn't personally say I'm like a pageant girl. I love pageantry for what it symbolizes, to give women a platform to use their voices for, what matters to them in their communities. But honestly and truly, I'm a ballroom girl that does pageants. That's the real
okay. Well, that's something. We learned something new.
That's
Okay.
the real truth. I come from the Kiki scene of ballroom. I started in the Kiki scene when I was 17, 18 years old. And I've been there ever since. And I think everything that I learned in ballroom kind of like just translated into pageantry. When you're walking swimsuit, when you're walking your runway. Girl, that's Femme Queen Runway.
And by,
Everybody's doing swimsuit. I'm doing Femme Queen Runway in my mind, and that just brought me to that stage and everything just kind of worked out from there.
well, walk us through getting ready for a pageant, because when I look at pageantry, for me, it's overwhelming. Like ballroom, it's like you're getting ready for one category.
Right.
And pageantry, you're getting ready for a few.
Yeah, it's the whole shebang.
So what is that like preparing for?
Honestly, in ballroom terms, I think you can just translate it to like, what are the categories? What is it calling for?
Okay.
So it's calling for question and answer. It's calling for some kind of like swimsuit. You're gonna have to walk, and it's calling for an evening gown. That's it, right? And then I think sometimes there's like a talent and like a costume. So I just made sure that I got my bases together. I'm a designer, so when it comes to inspiration and whatever it's calling for, just to make something personal to me to show the world, I think it was just easy to just translate that. So whenever it came to something like national costume, which is funny because I think I'm the only contestant in Miss International Queen history to win my preliminary national costume and the overall national costume in Thailand. I won both times in a row. Both outfits I basically designed myself. The first national costume that I had was actually a borrowed creation from Miss Washington, Samantha Gallia. After I competed in Miss Washington, she was the former, and she's the first girl in history for Washington State to meet the top 10. My state, Washington, girl, we never make Miss USA. We never do. We never do. And so she was one of the first ones to do it. So she was like my big inspiration. And I was like, after this pageant, like, are you gonna use this costume? Girl, you're not a performer. Like, what are you doing with this? She's like, no, but I'll let you use it, you know, if you want it. And the next thing I know, that's when I got the call from Miss International Queen, and I just brought that there, changed some things up, and it just created this legacy. So, you know, like, you just gotta know what it calls for and bring your best foot.
Bring your best bitch on her best day.
Right?
Isn't Giselle? I seen it. So Giselle Tichy, Barbie Royale
Yes,
from the
ma'am.
pageant scene. That's your chosen mother.
Yes, that is my
Okay.
mother. So she's the reason why I even knew what Miss International Queen was in the first place. I wouldn't have came across it without her. She's the first Black woman to ever open up that door and do
Shout
the
out to
thing,
Giselle.
you know?
Giselle.
Shout out to you moms. And it was just such an inspiration to see someone that looked like me on stage, you know, representing for the Black girls and coming from ballroom, you know, and she
Yeah.
brought all of that there. And that was such a big inspiration to me to go to both stages for USA and for Thailand and just represent Black culture and ballroom culture, most importantly.
How did you get into ballroom? Like, how did you get
So-
into that space?
I was a performer for a very long time. I think I was around 18 in the nightclubs in Seattle. And there was a girl who came to the club and she was like, girl, I could take you out of here. Let's go somewhere. Let me take you to a ball. I said, what? Okay, sure. And I went to my first ball in Portland, Oregon.
Okay,
Shout out to Rebound PDX and the dojo, of course. But this ball was hosted by, I think, formerly Poppy Ada and my good sister, the founder, Father Flora. It was called the Zodiac Kiki Ball, my first ever ball. I walked face just to do it. I was like, okay, well, I know of this category. I think it's the only thing that, like, I can see myself doing. I walked that category in Portland. I won at my first ball. And I started like this win streak in Portland for like 2 years of just every time it was face, I was just winning and winning and winning and winning. And I was like, oh, I got my footing here. Like, I really love it here. I love this. So I don't think I found ballroom. I feel like ballroom found me.
What Kiki house are you in?
So I am the house mother of Jeremy Scott. I'm the new
Okay.
founder.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Jeremy Scott. How did the house come about? How did the house come about? Like, yes, give
So
me
you know
more.
what's funny? So in the same way that Gucci is a new house that kind of started with Mizrahi, my house, you know, I first started talking about the Kiki House of Moschino, and that was like a big thing for me. I founded a house called Moschino, and I'm trying to find a way to like say this in a respectful way.
We got character.
Basically, I love the brand Moschino. I love Jeremy Scott. He is like my icon. I love him so much. So when I created the house, we were going for it and we were walking as a house for like a year. And then another chapter arose in like Texas. And they're like, we also have this name.
Yeah.
Let's merge. And I said, okay, sure. And it kind of created a power dynamic where like we just didn't have the same beliefs. So we went from Moschino and I was like, okay, I think this is time for me to do something that like I believe in, that like I want to do with my own backing. So we went from Moschino to Jeremy Scott, which, if you know, Jeremy Scott was the creative director for Moschino. He's my direct inspiration. So that's where we got the name changed to be Jeremy Scott.
You talked about running for Miss Washington.
Yes, ma'am.
You were the only trans girl at the time?
So no. So I like to say one of the first. It was me and another girl. We were the first two contestants. So crazy. The year that Miss USA as a whole started to open up their doors to different kinds of women to compete, they opened their doors for mothers, which was not, at first allowed. Women who are
Really?
married. Yeah.
You couldn't be a mother?
You couldn't be a mother, you couldn't be married, and you couldn't be crippled of any kind. Like,
Oh my God.
yeah, so,
It's very patriarchy.
Somebody
Right.
biased.
so my year that I competed, there were two Black trans women.
Oh,
There
really?
was a woman in a wheelchair, there was a mother, and there was two married women.
So they were more inclusive the
Very.
year that you, okay, great. I love
Yeah.
that. We love that.
It was honestly such a mind-blowing experience. And before I competed, the year before me was Cataluna, who was Miss Las Vegas, the first trans woman in America to compete for Miss USA. And I've got to hear a lot of her story. She's actually my former Miss International Queen. She crowned me Miss International Queen USA. And I got to learn so much about her experience, and she didn't have the most positive experience at Miss USA. And I was blessed to not have that experience. It was more open. I didn't have any problems being trans. I don't feel like it made a difference. So it was a really mind-blowing, life-changing opportunity to be there.
Okay. How has your life changed since you won Miss International?
I think the biggest change is having my network reach a worldwide level of influence. I have people and fans and all across the world. I have queer people in Africa who have just found me, and just I inspire them. People in Germany, people literally from all across the world that I would have never came in contact with otherwise. And I think that has been one of the biggest changes, and just the platform to use my title and that responsibility to continue my work of talking about trans rights and everything in this world with what's going on in America. I feel like the number one thing that the world has to talk about is trans people. It's every day, it's a trans person this, a trans person that. So it's a great opportunity for me to explain to the world what it is to be trans, what a trans identity is. And I think that's one of the most important things about being the voice for trans women everywhere. That's what Miss International Queen is all about.
So I have two questions. One is that I want to take it back a little bit before the pageantry, and how did you know that that was the road you wanted to go? What was your youth like?
Woo!
I was upset.
You ate that, you ate that, you ate
Yeah.
that. Before I got into pageantry, I come from a very sheltered religious household. So I didn't know anything from anything. If it wasn't church, Bible study, or music, I was really uninformed of the ways of the world. I was so sheltered, everything was coming to me in a filter, so I had to grab bits and pieces throughout my life. And the thing that changed my life the most was music. My father's also a music producer, so a lot of my life I wasn't even listening to him. I was listening to my father's music that he made, and a sprinkle of secular music every now and then. So when it came to pop culture songs, I wouldn't know what was playing, girl. I'm like, y'all know this? Still to this day, I'd be like, girl, what is this? So it took me a long time to figure out who I was, but I think the biggest turning point for me was music and finding out my tastes, my interests. I think the first thing that kind of set me apart, my family, is I would love electronic music, EDM. One of my favorite artists in the world is Daft Punk.
Oh yes, I live for that.
Around the World, One More Time, the greatest hits in the world. And that was my gateway. I don't want to say it's my gateway into queer culture, but it was definitely my gateway to realize, oh, okay, I'm a little different. My tastes are not the same as my family. And it was a way for me to further express myself and find an identity. But one thing that was really true to me as a family growing up, we always had a family time. We always believed in a meal together as a family. So we would always eat together, and sometimes we would watch something. And I remember a show that would always play that really touched my artsy side, we would watch Face Off. Does anyone know what Face Off
Yes,
is?
that's when you do the artist.
Yes,
makeup
the
artist.
special
Yeah,
effects and all
yeah.
that. So I remember we would just watch the show, and anything Chopped, like the cooking show.
Yes.
Love cooking shows. Food is like my love language.
What's your sign?
Hormones
I'm a
made me
Leo.
watch it.
Oh,
Look, a Leo, Asia. Asia, another Leo.
Hormones made me watch it. I could tell when you like music, you intertwine with energy.
Right.
That's music.
Yeah, it was the energy that made me go like, oh, okay, I understand myself a little bit more. You know, because growing up sheltered and under so much religion and things, you don't have that opportunity to find who you are. When I had problems in my life and I would tell my parents, it was always give it to God. Go pray. Mom, I'm depressed. I'm hurting. My heart hurts. There's something that feels wrong. Go pray. It was never, let's talk about it. Why do you feel this way? What's going on? Do you want to hug? Do you want to talk? No, it was go get on your knees, go pray, go talk about it to God, and it'll get better. So having to figure out so much on my own has like always been my MO. I'm also an only child. I was raised an only
I'm
child.
an only child too.
Right. So the way we operate in the world is a little different. It's a little different.
Right.
And we never know it's different until we get into, we start interacting with other people. We're like, oh, y'all are like this?
Yeah.
Yes.
You never know until you're there.
People don't understand.
There's no shade. They're like, oh, we share everything?
Right.
The more the merrier. Okay.
Okay, so what comes up for me is like your journey to your transition.
Yes. Okay, so let's get into it. When we're talking about Face Off, this was like my introduction to like art. And I knew that I was an artist. I love music. I love arts. I love creativeness. And I remember one day I came home from school and I was watching Face Off. I was by myself. I turned the TV on. We're watching Face Off. This is my thing. And I don't know what I was doing. I think I wanted to go get something to eat. And I stopped watching the TV for a little while and I came back and you would never know, guess what was playing? It was Drag Race was on. And I've never known what drag was, ever. And I guess the reason why I said I left and I came back, I didn't get to see the full episode. So I'm watching, right when the ladies leave the runway for the first time and they go de-drag, that's what I saw. That was my first time seeing drag. I'm like, these ladies look a little different. And then they start taking it off. I'm like, these aren't ladies. I said, what is this? And immediately my childhood sense of wonder just took off and I was like, oh, this is it. This
How old
speaks
were
to
you
me.
about that time?
I think I was like 16 years old, maybe 15, 16. And I knew immediately it was drag. And honestly, drag kind of saved my life. It was a way for me to express myself and be as artsy, as creative, as wild, as free, as funny as I want to be. And it's okay. And I remember there was one day I started working at this drag show for about a year. One day I came home. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning. I would drive from Tacoma to Seattle to go perform. I drove all the way back. And I just looked in the mirror and I said, I relate to this. I feel this. I don't want to leave this. I don't want to remove this. I don't want to go back to masculinity. I never clung to masculinity. It was never a thing to me. My whole life in grade school, oh, your child only speaks with the girls. They're only friends with girls. I remember in PE, the locker rooms, they always felt weird for me.
Yes.
I'm like, what are y'all doing?
No, I want to do that.
What is they giving?
We got our towels
What?
up
We
here.
got the towels up here. Girl, the boys are spraying Axe body spray all through the locker room. I'm like, girl, this is too much for me. I can't relate to this. And I think there were so many signs leading up to me figuring out that there was a femme queen in me.
I have a feminine queen inside
There's
of
a
me.
feminine queen. And I think, I just realized, I was like, I think this is it. And I think my first time ever seeing a trans woman was a little later than that. King Amaya Scott was the first ever trans person I saw in my life.
Wow.
You know, in Seattle, Washington. Now, girl, you see blue hair, pink hair, pronouns, all that. It's what my state gives. And that's why I love Washington. But at that time growing up, being so sheltered, I didn't have access to that. I didn't see that. I didn't know that. I didn't understand that. And, you know, my parents are going to tell me what a trans person is, knowing that they've seen trans people. I mean, trans people have always been here since our grandparents, you know?
So since you come from a religious background, and what they would say is now that you're out in the world,
Right.
what is your relationship or support factor from your family now?
Now it's a lot better. And, you know, it's a sign that it does get better. And that doesn't mean that, like, in a literal sense, things are always better. I think, in my perspective, what makes things get better is you are more equipped with how to deal with stuff. When you get older, it's not like the BS of life stops. It intensifies. You get more of it. But with so much that comes on your plate, you eventually learn how to handle it differently. So with my parents, it was never easy. The moment that I even knew that I was queer in general, before even finding out about a trans identity, my parents were like, oh, no, not in my house. You can go. You can figure something out. It can't be here. And it started a cycle of me hopping from place to place, going from friend's house to friend's house, couch to couch. And my relationship with my father especially was, you can't be here. And then a month or two, as I'm trying to like get my feet together, come back home. And then I come back home. You can't be here. And it would just go back and forth until I was old enough to be like, I got to get out of here. And I think the best thing for my relationship with my family has been distance. And now, you know, they support me. It's a lot of love there. But I don't think that it was a love that would have existed if we were in proximity. And we're so different. It's so crazy, like, it's no shade, mom, dad. Y'all know this. But my parents are a little bit of narcissists, just a tiny bit. And to have that dynamic, and you're the only child in the household, you would assume as an only child, you know, there's nothing but attention you can get from your parents. But that wasn't my case. If anything, I always felt like anything I did wasn't good enough. I always felt like whatever I could do, because it wasn't what my father wanted, it wasn't good enough. I remember going to homecoming and I was like, I think it was senior year, and I was like, I want to go and just be so flamboyant. And I remember my dad was just like, I'll spend 3 racks on you right now, clothes, shoes, watches, whatever you name it, if you just go as masculine as you can. And I was like, you can't just go get me a little sparkly something. Like, that's all I'm asking for. It's only be like $40. You're talking about $3,000. What? And that's kind of just how it was. It was always, you need to be this way. And I think that my parents learned that, like, once my mind is set on something, there's nothing in this world that can derail me from that thought process, that can derail me from where I'm going. When my goal is set, I don't stop until I reach that.
Another question too about pageantry. Like, one was how was your family supported throughout your pageantry, and also, what is one of your hidden talents?
Ooh, okay. So when it came to my first queer pageant, no support, of course, because they're like, that's not what we want you to do. When I went to Miss Washington, I don't believe they were here. They moved. So my mom and my dad both live in Las Vegas. Also, my parents are divorced since I was a child. I should have said that earlier. So the dynamic has always been interesting. Like, the relationship that I had with my father was more strict, and with my mother it was more out, open, and free. But the way that they supported me was both polar opposites. So when it came to pageantry, I think the most I would get is like you got it, go for it, good for you, you know. So I never relied on that aspect of support from my parents. I feel like, if anything, I'll give them a life update and that's it. I think that's kind of like where our relationship stands. But I think that's just what works for us, is that distance. But I never really received too much embrace. It was always like, if you think you can do it, then go for it.
So how does that feel for you, to, even the fact that you notice, because I know sometimes as Leos, we could say these things and feel others, like we can feel it differently than what, we protect ourselves.
Yeah.
How do you feel personally just sitting home and thinking about that, and how did you heal from that, or healing?
Honestly, it was really hard for me, I think, to just realize that, like, I don't have the relationship where I can just call my mom and just talk and just tell her how my day went. I can't do that with my father either. So I think from a young age, I just knew that the only person in this world that I can rely on is me. The only person that I have that can get me through this is me. If I'm sad, I can't. What am I going to go pray? I can do that. It's not that I haven't, but like, what else are we going to do? So I think I always known at a young age that like, I just need to be there for myself. And I just had to accept that that's my reality. And it's not the best reality. It's not something that I'm truly particularly fond of. But I think there are just some things in this world that you just can't change. And you have to understand how to accept it and how to just keep pushing. And I think that's always been a motivating drive for me, is to just go, you gotta keep going.
I
Yeah,
love
so
that you say
sometimes-
that.
Yeah, like
What's the talent?
Oh,
Because you know you have to have a talent category.
I'm a flautist. That's like a hidden talent because I don't really do that or practice or post that. But what I did for Thailand, for my talent, I actually rapped. I made my own song.
bust a bar.
So my talent for Thailand, I open it up speaking Thai because I want to reverence their culture.
Okay.
So my
Shout out
talent
Zalba.
opening was, Sawadika, Yendi Tirai Rujak Naka. Let me tell you a little about me. I'm the queen bee, beautiful and ebony. I'm the girl from across the nation, coast to coast to across the nation. Oh, I messed it up.
That was overloud. That was bad.
Well, you know,
that was
she's there,
so
she's there.
bad.
I was saying got to be.
Yes.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
I just love the alliteration of like rhyming and using your words to like create a message. One of my verses was, use my voice to break down oppression. Above all else, I think I should mention I'm Black excellence. Is the one I tell you this face card, unstoppable, this afro, undeniable. My walk is untangible. You never seen a pageant girl do it like this when I rock the mic with a feminine twist. When I shake my body and I move it like this. My name's Midori and it sounds like this.
Come on.
You know, just something fun. I was very inspired by Sanaya and like her, like all of her songs.
When I walk in the room, go boom.
Yes,
Yes, Miss
that was such
Boomy.
an
I am the
inspiration
reason.
to
I
me.
am the reason.
Yes, I am the reason. I'm the reason, and I wanted to bring that bit of ballroom culture to Thailand. I wanted them to like hear it. So like the ballroom girls that hear my song, they'll know. My first song when I competed for Miss International Queen USA, I put Giselle and Stasha in my song. I said, Giselle and Stasha paved the way, ballroom girls who came to slay. Femme Queen say, Femme Queen face, serving with face, we wake it up with impeccable taste. I just love to just throw in, you know, references to where I come from, what I relate to, and my experience.
Thank
So
you.
is that
Alpha.
there's
Thank
two
you.
questions that I heard from that, and the first I will go into. Well, first, since we're on your talent, you're a fashion designer. Is that your livelihood? Like, is that something that you're doing and you create for others, or is that just something like a hobby for you?
So it started out as a hobby. The way I even got into fashion, I feel like I always knew I was a little different. I think it like kind of lies on maybe being a little on the spectrum. I was always I had a lot of energy. And I remember my grandma, to get me to sit down, she'd be like, girl, take this sewing needle, go get you one of them napkins off the table, and you need to just trace what's on it. Like trace the quilt pattern on the paper towel. She got me 2 hours of silence, baby. I would just sit there with my needle and just go to work. And I went from hand stitching to using a machine to following patterns to making my own outfits. And a lot of that came from, you know, learning the skills that my grandmother taught me. But a lot of it also came from not having the financial stability to just go buy a dress, to just go buy an expensive gown. I knew that I can go to Joann's Fabrics,
Yeah.
give me a couple yards, take it back home.
you say
and do what I need to do.
Joann's?
Of course.
Joann's.
We live with Joanne.
Fabric.
Yes.
Shout out. Gag that you said that.
Wait, what's that? Put us on.
No, that's the first time I heard of Joann's Fabric was from my mother Letitia. That's where she goes to buy her fabric.
Yes.
So that was the first time I heard it. So this is the second reference. Is that like some of the best fabric or something?
Not at all. Nowhere close. It's really cheap. But in Washington, we have so
Okay.
many of them. So it's easy access. It's a commodity. It's just, okay, I need a couple yards. Let me go over there and see what they got.
All right, Joanne.
I love that. I think more people should tell their kids to do something creative so that they
Yes,
can learn.
that's
it.
smart. That was all.
And you also speak to how creative we become and how you end up having to stand on your own. And I'm sure as not having the support that you have makes you want to go above and beyond, not feeling like you were ever enough for your father.
Right.
Also, what it brings me back to is being that you don't have that support, now that you have a chosen family, because sometimes a lot of us attach to ballroom because there isn't support from the family, and you now have a chosen family. I heard you saying something earlier about wanting to know, why did you choose the House of Gorgeous Gucci?
Yes. So ballroom means so much to me specifically for the purpose of having chosen family. You know, not having that support of my parents and not having anyone else to really rely on that saw me for me. That's really what connected me to ballroom. Of course, there's the trophies, there's the accolades, there's walking. That's all fun and dandy. But to me, I think the true passion of ballroom, at least from my perspective, is the family. It's the bonds, it's the fun times, because at the end of the day, it really is us against the world. So being there in a scene where people understand you, you don't have to explain being trans. You're trans. You could be a baby trans. We know there's a baby trans, girl. There's nothing more that you need to do to belong, but to be you. When in this world, you have to explain every piece of your identity or put a label on everything that you are. And ballroom, you don't need that. Girl, you this, you're this.
I love that, because some people feel like the family aspect is gone and you don't hear a younger girl. How old are you?
I'm 27.
I do.
27. Okay, so I love that for you to be that age and still speaking about the family aspect of it. It goes to deny that, you know, people are no longer looking for that, because there are people who still looking for that. So
Well, I'll be honest. I was really nervous about mainstream ballroom because coming from Kiki scene, I knew that in Kiki, I could make my own family. And that's how I became a mother of my own house. That's how I got to express all of the love that I did not get in my childhood. I got to give it to my kids that I mentor. And when it came to mainstream, from my limited perspective at that time, I felt like mainstream was kind of like a business. It didn't feel like a family. It felt like a business from the outside looking in, you know, not having access to that.
there are a lot of
How long have you been in the scene?
In mainstream now, I want to say less than a year. I think what's important is to always be vigilant about what's going on around you. I think that means a lot, to just notice how things move, notice how things operate, which was why I had so much reservations about joining mainstream. Honestly, all my kids were gagged that I even joined Gorgeous Gucci. They're like, you joined mainstream, why? Because I would always tell my kids, I'm not doing mainstream, girl. I'm gonna be in this Kiki house with y'all and that's it. But realistically, I feel like I was found. I didn't pursue it. And I think that was another part of me being in the Kiki scene. There are, you know, people from mainstream that come into Seattle and they start picking out of the scene and start recruiting. And I don't think I was ever one that kind of like caught the attention. Despite like whatever I do could be immaculate, I never found that house to be like, well, come over here, let's talk about this. Or let me teach you something. Let's elevate. And I never had that. And I think that was an experience that was like really hard for me because, you know, when you're coming into the scene, there's a lot of people who want to learn and build and grow. And I think that was where I was at. But when I get on the floor, I think the way that I'm perceived is, not that I'm unteachable, but it's just like, what are we teaching this girl? What is there that she needs to learn? But when it came to finding Gorgeous Gucci after I won Miss International Queen, Jack himself reached out to me and he just asked me, he was like, so you talk about ballroom, when are you coming to mainstream? And I was like, I don't really have any plans on it. And he was like, let's do this. You have one of the most viral moments in the world winning this pageant. Let's make another one together. And I've always heard about Gorgeous Gucci, and from my knowledge, a lot of the things that I hear about Gucci is it's kind of a forever house. You know, once you're there, majority of the people that are there are there.
Yeah.
And to me, that was so important to have that sense of family. You know, I don't want to go into mainstream and it feels like, because you're this, you need to do this, or you need to do this, or you can't do this. I needed to know that, is this going to be a family? Can I be comfortable here? As a Leo, can I let my guard down? And that's really hard for me. And to be there, the family was nothing but open arms for me. And that was like oh, y'all have this in mainstream. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll try it.
I love that.
I
you
love that.
realized there wasn't a revolving door. Like,
Right.
People weren't steady
That
leaving
is-
a
I didn't even
house.
know,
A lot of people don't pay
yeah.
attention to that.
Ooh.
Pay attention.
And
That was
that's the thing I like, that you
beautiful.
had that intention about making sure that you connect to something that
Right.
would actually be a space for you to grow in the scene. I think it's amazing. I think, like, even when we first started talking, like, it was just a regular conversation. And then, you know, I definitely wanted you to be here because I was watching, like Jack said, the viral moment, right? So that pivotal moment when we saw the display of the contestants on the show who ran to Miss Cuba, I think that's who it was at that time, and did not run to you, is when everyone started to really kind of take notice of colorism or the things that happen within pageantry.
Right.
And your story became like the precipice of that conversation.
Right.
So I want to take it back a little bit. Like, where did that start from between you and Miss Cuba, if there is a between you and Miss Cuba? So let me say that.
You know, interestingly enough, competing for Miss USA is when I first met her. So I'm the first ever winner of the pageant Miss USA for International Queen. Every other former, like Giselle, like Stasha Sanchez, they are women that applied, they interviewed for the role, and then they were chosen. Usually they would pick someone from the continental system, but this year they said, we're gonna do an actual pageant. So I'm the first girl to go and win the pageant. And Cuba competed with me, and she was my first runner-up, so she was second place. And she was nice. I definitely knew walking in there at USA that was like my only person that I can see wanted it as much as I did. So when it came to us being in the top 3, I didn't doubt it a second in my mind. And then, you know, after winning, you take a break, we get ready for Thailand. And when she was announced that she would go to Thailand as Cuba, it was a shock to me because I was like, girl, we just did this.
I just smoked you over here.
We just did this, girl.
She said she need that again. Don't I?
What are we doing?
She needed
She
that
said
back.
she need that again. She said, "Oh, we gotta replay that."
I was gobsmacked because like she could have gone next year, and in no disrespect to her, I truly think that she could have won. Like if she just waited and did it again, she probably could have. I think she has what it takes. Obviously, she did it twice.
It's not enough.
It's just not enough for you.
It's not enough when you're in the building.
Not when I'm.
She was not fucking with shit.
Come on, boy.
Say that with your chest. Yeah.
I mean, I think there's nothing really that I can explain it. It's like, imagine you get chopped for your category and you come back with a different outfit. Like, girl, you just got chopped.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh my
Let's
God,
wait for
there's
the
the
next
correlation.
Oh my gosh.
let's wait for the next function. Like,
Right.
it's like you can't get chopped for American and come back as European. Like, girl, just chill.
Right. So I love that. In that moment, what did you feel when you saw them over there?
So at first I was kind of like, my first question was why? Like, I get that you want it and we all want this, right? But like, you want it that bad. And it's kind of like where my mind went. And I was like, okay, well, you know, it's no big deal. At the end of the day, I'm going to Thailand. So it's my first time leaving the country. Let's enjoy this vacation. And I remember I was just like, to me, it kind of felt a little weird because in my mind, I can't imagine a situation where you're competing again and there isn't a sense or a feeling of, I should have won the first time. Because why else would you want to be back? In my mind, that's kind of where I took it. So I didn't know how to handle the situation. So I was like, let's just be nice. Let's play cordial. And when we went, the vibe I could tell was immediately different. It was a different person than what I met in Las Vegas competing for USA. It was an entirely different girl. And I said, oh, okay. I need to rethink this. I don't think that this is someone that, like, yes, we had a relationship in USA, but I don't feel that same sense of kinship now. This feels entirely different.
Be
So
weird.
I just knew to like kind of, you know, be vigilant and keep my eyes out.
Be weird.
You know, I haven't told this anywhere, but I feel comfortable talking
like
about this here and with the girls. You know, what's wild is when I got to Thailand, we had our opening sashing ceremony. And in the sashing ceremony, you know, we get to talk about, we were all asked a specific assignment. Bring something to wear that has a relevance to you. So if you guys saw the moment of me coming up on stage and I had this huge red hat that took up majority of the camera time on the screen, I wore that to a Kiki ball where I won Best Dressed.
Oh.
So I'm bringing ballroom to the pageant on day one. And when she introduced herself and she talked about her outfit, she said something in her speech that I said when I won question and answer in USA.
Wow.
And I'm on stage and I'm like, she's saying
Plagiarism.
my words.
Wow.
And from that moment, I was like, I'm not talking to you again. There's nothing that I have to say to you now because now I know you're playing a game.
Right.
Wow.
So from that moment, we never talked.
So that's what.
And we're there for 2 weeks.
Like, what is
And she kind of got the girls to rally with her against you in that moment. You think?
You know, it's because there was this these allegations of bullying, and there was the concept of painting me and Miss Vietnam in a bad light of us being bullies. But the interesting thing about bullies, when you watch them on movies, are they the ones that are alone, or are they the ones with all the friends?
I know that's right.
Just something to think about. Something to sip on.
A Leo's gonna spill it.
True.
A Leo will spill it.
That's
I mean, let's ask. Let's ask.
We
have
get
you
in.
seen Mean
I
Girls?
thought you
Were they
handled
alone?
You handled it very well.
Well, you know, I think I have been in situations where I feel like when you are undoubtedly confident in who you are, and you're black, and you're trans, and you're tall, and you're not ugly, we're not supposed to go up for you. Why would we go up for you? Let's go up for the underdog because we don't know if she can make it. You can make it. We're not worried about you. Let's worry about her. That's kind of how
Leo is going to fucking shake the building.
tell
A
you.
Leo is going to shake the building. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You know what we get, girl.
So I feel like when you're so unapologetic and you know who you are, for some people it can come off as cocky. For some people it can come off as disrespectful, but it's like, why should it be disrespectful that I know who I am? And I don't need your permission to be me. I never asked you how to be a woman. I never asked you how to show up into a room. You might ask others and, you know, but that's not my experience.
God.
And that's not specifically to anyone, but I'm just like, you
Take
know,
me through
when,
there.
when you don't need it, it bothers people.
Yeah.
Because I think in this world, it is a thing that, you know, we ask for validation. When you're with your girlfriends, go, do you like this necklace or this one? You know, this is validation. It's simple. But when there are some people who don't need that, it ruffles feathers. And I don't think that there was a moment of envy or jealousy against me from the other girls. I never felt that. If anything, I think I came into that competition knowing I'm here to win. And I know what I need to do to win. And I've heard from all the formers, like Chantel DeMarco, from Stasha Sanchez, from Giselle herself, they're like, you have this. Girl, just be nice. That's probably the only thing you got to worry about is making sure that you're not being seen as mean. Because when you do show up as a guarded person and when you close your heart, you do seem standoffish.
Yeah.
You can seem like,
Very standoffish.
you know, and it's not intentional. It's just I'm protecting my heart. You know, if you say hi to me, I'll say hi back. You want to laugh? Let's key. I love to laugh. That's kind of how I feel. But if we haven't reached that moment, there's nothing for me to do or add to the situation. So to me, it was just, I'm just going to mind my business. I'm going to key with who I key with. On day one, I met Miss Malaysia, the girl who ran up to me to hug me, the only girl that did.
Shouts to you, Miss
Shout out to my girl.
And
I met her because she's in the Kiki scene.
oh,
So the moment that I saw her, I was like, oh, you're in Kiki, girl? We're like this. She's a femme queen face girl herself. And so I was like, okay, I feel at home with you. So immediately we kind of clicked. But I never found pieces of myself in anyone else. So there was just a clear divide. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You know, we're all different. We all have our own things. But it was hard for me to find out where I fit. It was interesting. I talked to Stasha literally just last night because I was like, I don't think I've ever had to
Shout out to
talk
my
to you about your experience. And she told me as the only black girl, I had no one. I didn't relate with the Spanish girls. I didn't relate with the Asian girls. And I'm like the only one. And to me, my experience was kind of similar, but I'm a mixed girl. My mom and my grandmother are Japanese. So I was geeking with all the Asian girls. So I never felt as excluded. Any picture that we were taking with the girls, I was always with the Asian girls, boobs. That's just where I felt like we have a similar shared experience. But to me, I think there's always a turning point in a competition. I feel especially long competitions, like Miss International Queen was 2 weeks. We all go there, we're like roommates. It's like a big camp. And we all start at the same footing, but eventually, as the days go by, you start to see the chaff from the wheat. You know, you start to see who's who. And despite how much I tried to keep to myself and be a team player and be like the jokester of the group, it didn't quite matter much, because the moment that I'm seen as not a threat to someone that like, oh, she might take this from me, it changes the vibe.
Absolutely.
I don't even know how to like really explain that, but it's like you just can tell that the eyes on you are different.
Of course.
And I think there was a turning point of the competition where I mentioned knowing Giselle, and I was like, yeah, that's my mother. That's my inspiration. She's the first Black girl to ever win this pageant, and I'm in her footsteps. And I think the way I said it, or the way I came across, I remember everyone in that room was like, it kind of shook the table a little bit. And I think there were a couple moments in the pageant where no matter how hard I tried to like blend in, I would stand out. And I would stand out in a way that like I could not deny it. And the way that the attention around me was undeniable. Every day the girls would go on their phones, and fans from across the world are making their prediction list. It didn't matter if I wasn't first on that list. I was in every prediction list since day one. When I got there, a lot of people were like, that's the winner on day one of the pageant. And we all have to see it. We're all tagged in it, you know? So I think the vibe kind of just started changing, but I don't feel like there was ever any disrespect to me from any of the girls. Even to this day, I think that even after it happened, like in the moment, I didn't even know what was happening. I'm being told, here's your camera, look at this camera. I'm not paying attention to what's going on behind me. I didn't notice till the morning after. I'm on my phone. I'm like, oh, I didn't know this happened.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And then the next day, I'm still on my phone, and I'm on my phone. And the next day, I'm still on my I said, oh my gosh, is this happening?
A big thing.
It went viral. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of people didn't even know that I was trans, or that Miss International Queen was a trans pageant. And at first it was an idea or a concept of like, I felt a camaraderie of Black women everywhere saying, this is the experience that we have. And I'm so grateful for that shared experience from Black women across the world. And then there are those that are like, oh, well, that's a man. Oh, well, they're trans. Oh, well, it's this, oh, well, it's that. And it's like, okay, well, I can be trans, I can be born male, but that doesn't deny that Black women don't experience this.
Right.
There's a thing called intersectionality, and it
Talk
exists.
about it. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, we want to uplift you in this moment, and we want to go ahead and give you your flowers.
Congratulations.
Shout out to the team. Y'all did y'all big one today. I love y'all. Y'all did y'all big one.
Thank you so much. Beautiful.
That's so nice. I love that, guys. Y'all did that.
Congratulations on
Y'all
your
did
win.
that.
Congratulations on your debut.
Thank
what could
you.
ballroom expect for you? Will you be hitting the floor soon?
Well, of course. Well, of course. Well, of course. Well, of course.
What happens when you're going to go against your mother?
You know, I
You're in
almost did
different
last
houses
night.
now.
I
Oh,
almost
really?
did last night. The truth is, when I was asked to join Gorgeous Gucci, I was going to be a part of the face production as a house. But I walk face in Kiki, and I know that the standards are different from Kiki to mainstream. And I am not, while I might be beautiful and gorgeous, face needs to be, your skin needs to be. And I don't have, I'm human. I have texture. I'm a living, breathing girl that loves sugar. I love sweets. And, you know, there are some times, especially when you got to judge like R on the panel with a magnifying glass.
Yeah, you did
You did your research, okay? Don't you know ballroom? You would have
can't.
Yeah, baby. Match a high five. Come on, bro.
So I ended up going from the house production to doing something different. But I live. I think Giselle is such an inspiration where it's just like, girl, this is ballroom. So although that's my mother, it's ballroom. And we're here to have a fun time. We're going to carry. That's what it's about, no? It's a tournament.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. So, in the pageantry world, you mentioned Stasha and Giselle. Like, are there any other girls that inspired you in your artistry?
Definitely my auntie Chantel DeMarco. So much love, TT. She was my stylist the entire pageant. So everything that I wore, even that crowning gown, was styled by Chantel.
Shout out to Chantel.
Shout out to Chantel.
That's great.
But you know, from an early age, I think that I had a concept of understanding early that it's not okay to have idols, in the sense that like we're all human and we all fall short. And I think that it was something that made me realize that everyone's fab, but I shouldn't put a poster of them on my wall. They shouldn't be my screensaver. I should just know who they are, give them their flowers for what they do, and you treat them like normal human beings. So to me, I never came into it as like, oh, that's it. I think there are some women that like I can take inspiration from, that can inspire me, and I will always say their names. But I don't think that there was anyone or anything that was just like, oh, this is it. This is my ticket, this is my inspiration. If anything, it was just a sign for me to like keep going. I like to say that someone else having something is not a sign that you can't have it. It's a sign that you can achieve it, you know? So when I see others that are like doing the thing, it just inspires me to like keep going.
I love that. Do you guys have any more questions before we go to the go?
No, I think we can go straight to the go. Thank you.
Thank you for
so well
listening.
spoken.
And taking up space.
Definitely.
It's all about taking up space.
Yes. We love it. So we'll be back with the gold bowl.
Hey you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. You're watching Femme Queen Crazy Sexy Cool.
The gold bowl, this bitch digging in the gold bowl. The gold bowl, the gold bowl, this bitch digging in the good bowl.
And we're back with the gold bowl.
You ready?
Very, so excited.
Yes.
Okay, let's get into it. What part of your body makes you feel the most powerful, and how do you honor that? My eyes. I have spent so many times and so many lengths of time just really staring into the mirror and like fully understanding myself by seeing myself. And I think taking that energy and translating that into the world with how I show up and how I look at people and how I see through people, I think it definitely changes how I'm perceived by the way that I look at things and the way that I can use my eyes to say full-on sentences without saying a word.
I love that.
That was deep.
Let's see. Oh, God.
Let's go.
What's the question? No, we need to know the question.
Oh no, that one. We gotta take that one.
Okay.
Don't cheat.
We need
First, you gotta read
You
it.
gotta read it.
You gotta
Jimmy.
read
This question is a key. Mind you.
Oh no.
What's the question?
So, what is your sexual kink, and what ballroom participant would you love to include?
Oh shit.
Enjoy your femme queenness. Don't you drink that.
She's like, I just got here.
Oh, she got to get more in.
It's a lot of Gucci boys over here.
No.
It's a welcome
don't believe
club.
They're gonna to the family. Yeah.
They said it's welcome.
That's good. She said it's good.
Or the welcome.
There's another sexy question I'm going to gag. 2 sexys in a row is crazy. Crazy. Which contestant from the 2025 pageant would receive the biggest chop from you? 2 shots if you don't answer.
Ooh. Are you going to party more tonight, or did they answer the question?
Okay, well, here's the tea. A chop doesn't mean you utterly failed. It just means you might have missed the mark a little bit and you just come back a little harder. To me, from 2025, do you mean in Thailand or USA?
Anything.
Either one.
Both. It does say 2 shots if I don't answer. Okay, we'll do both. From USA, God, I can't even think of a name. The way I was on my own world. That's no shade.
Who would you chop?
You know, for USA, a lot of those girls, it was their first time ever competing in a pageant. like majority of them, they've never done pageantry before.
So you chop a lot.
So I think I would have to chop a
Majority.
lot, and it's no shade. I think there was only a handful of us that like knew this is a pageant. You need to have them things ready, and a lot of them were just kind of there for the experience. And for Thailand, now it's no shade to you, my sister, but I might have to go to Indonesia. I think that she was the most eccentric of the group. However, what I did get to learn about her is that while yes, the pageant is a major stage to display beauty and glamour, she really came there with a purpose to speak about all of the things going on in her country, where in Indonesia, you can't be trans and use your voice to speak up against their government, which can lead to severe harm or threat of death. And I got to learn this from her perspective that like, she just came there to use her platform. I remember we were all in a room and we were sharing 3 things about us that make us what we want this pageant for. And she had the most shallow vein answers out of everyone. She said money, power, and I think the last one was like the platform. And I was like, oh, okay, girl, get into it. And then she explained it and she was like, no, in Indonesia, if you don't have money, you can't speak. And if you don't have power, your voice is not heard. And I can't speak of the things that I want to speak out without retaliation from my government. And so then when I learned that, I was like, oh, okay, this makes sense now. So there's no shade. I think that...
You would chop her for having the motive?
No, I would chop her for not being prepared for a runway, walking in your heels, being in your gown. But I think she had one of the best motives out of anyone that competed with us that year. And it truly touched my heart in a way that I still think about, to know that like, while this was a pageant for me to go and show the world who I am, this was a life-changing opportunity for a lot of those women to make change. And honestly, that's something that I'm really proud of, to take on all of those dreams that those women had and use them throughout my career to further amplify those trans voices that are not heard. Sorry, that was a long one.
90 seconds.
Girl, let's make it quick.
You
Last
know
one.
what's funny? I just want to say this really fast before I lose it. But you was like, a chop doesn't mean that you're bad. It just means that you missed the mark.
Right.
And last night, judging face, I realized in that moment, like sometimes we take a loss so bad. But seeing people who were equally as beautiful, like everyone looking good, it could be something very minimal that can make you pick the other person. So it doesn't mean that you were bad or this person just looked so much more better than you, but it could have been as simple as their skin was completely smooth versus texture, just small things like that. So yeah, I just wanted to get that out. So
That's a really good point. I think for me, when I judge ballroom in the Kiki scene, especially for a category like face, you would think the category is just face. But in reality, girl, if both girls are undeniable beauties, let's get into the outfit. Is her shoe on? Is her hair together? Is her earring on? Is her lash on right? If not, then I have to find something to differentiate these girls. We're not just going to put 2 beauties together and say one is more beautiful. That might not be the case.
Yeah.
Might be something as she has a little bit. She wants it more today,
I think Stasha called that out too. She said something
that.
about the outfits or something looking almost similar or something like that.
No, because on the phone we were told something different, but like of what to look for. But yeah, I can see your question.
Here's to cool. Who received a chop at the porcelain ball that you believe should have received nothing but 10s? I can't answer that. And I can't answer that because here's the thing. When I go to ballroom, I go for the experience of it all. If I'm not on the panel, my eyes are not glued to that stage. Baby, I want to see who's there. I want to go network. I want to go kiki with the girls. We're only here for so much. Like, let me go take some pictures. Let me go enjoy my time. So I would not say that my eyes are glued. I feel like whenever I came to a category that I knew the house was walking, I wanted to go there and support. I wanted to scream gorgeous Gucci as loud as I can. But other than that, girl, it's ball. Let's have a kiki. Let's see what there is to see.
Yes.
So I can't answer that one.
Oh no, there's no more.
She going to
She goes to the whole thing. No more.
She was getting ready to go. You opened it. You grabbed it. Go ahead, take the last.
Let me get into it. Crazy. Okay, fab. What's the wildest behind the scenes moment that happened during the Miss International Queen contest? Ooh, good question. The most crazy thing that happened. Okay, right before I walked out for evening gown and preliminary night, actually twice this happened to me. Talent night too. On talent night, my shoe came off during my performance.
Oh my God.
So I was going into a dip, and I did my dip, I landed it, and then I was gonna do this little scoot, and my shoe just came off my foot. So I couldn't get into my choreo that I rehearsed for the pageant, and it just threw me off. And I went from losing the talent competition, I came in second place, and I remember that bothered me because I'm like, I'm a full-time entertainer. You guys have jobs. I'm an entertainer. I get on stage, I perform, that's what I do for money. And I remember it bothered me so bad. I was like, it's like we're having a hair competition and I'm the only hairstylist and I lose. Like, it drove me crazy. So I remember when it came to preliminary night, I had such a fire under me to go, I need to do the best I can to make up for losing the talent show. And when I got there to preliminary night, I was just on fire. And it came down to evening gown and my shoe entirely eviscerated. The front strap of the heel came off. So the Thai people backstage were rushing me with duct tape.
God.
They came and they wrapped my whole foot up with duct tape. And my handler, JJ, runs back and he was like, no, take this off right now. She has other heels. So I think there's 2 contestants before me. We're live. The pageant is going actively. And I'm like second from being next. And my shoe was covered in duct tape. So I'm sitting here trying to have a straight face. Mind you, there's cameras all through the back room. Everyone's recording everything. So I'm trying to like not lose it, be calm, be in my zen. Luckily, we did manage to get a second shoe. I got a new shoe, and the moment my heel was fastened, they were calling my name. So I just go out there, and no one knew that happened.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I gotta practice that Zen.
In show
Because
business,
I would've been
the
freaking
show must go
out.
on. It
Yeah.
always must go on.
Okay.
I think this has been amazing. Do you guys have any more
today was
questions?
amazing. Yeah.
Do you have anything you want to share to your audience or any message that you would say to your younger self or to a young person looking to get into pageantry?
I say the number one thing I want to say to my younger self, please, please, please take gymnastics. We need this middle split. We need our back handspring and our somersault now. Also, I would love to say,
Since you are a king.
I would love to say that just take time. You know who you are. You know what you want in this life. You will be doubted by so many, your own family, your own circle of support, even your friends. But you know what you want, so never stop until you achieve it. And always keep going. And my message to the younger generation, to the younger trans women out there, to women everywhere or anyone in the community, now is the time, especially here in America, to be even more loud and proud about who you are. Take the time to understand, if you are a trans person of experience, what does being trans mean to you? I think being trans is more than just an identity. It's more than a lash. It's more than a nail. It is who you are. What does that mean to you? Find it, pursue it, and love yourself every step of the way.
I love that. I think we should end on that now. That was beautiful. This has been another episode of Femme Queen Crazy
Sexy.
Cool.
Tuesday.
Shout out to everybody. I had fun.
I gotta be good.